What is up, everyone? Happy WrestleMania 37 Night 2. Welcome to my post stream. I'm Denise Salcedo, and boy, oh boy, do we have lots to get into here tonight. It was a very, very explosive WrestleMania, a very explosive last couple of days, going as far back as NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. 2 nights of that. 2 nights of WrestleMania. We have so much to get into here tonight. Now, if you guys were on my stream last night for WrestleMania Night 1 coverage, we had so much to talk about then. We have even more to talk about here today. But as a reminder, I do want to let you all know, for those of you who are all in this stream, thank you so much for joining. And please do not forget to send in comments, questions, whatever you guys want throughout this entire stream, because this is a very interactive post show where I will be reading all of your thoughts and your opinions to kind of get a general idea of what everybody here thought of WrestleMania. Also, friendly reminder that this channel is run entirely by me. So if you guys want to send in any super chats with any of your thoughts, comments, or opinions, whatever you guys want, those will be read. They are 100% guaranteed will be read on the air during this stream. So if you have anything that you want me to read, send it in. As long as it pertains to the show, is appropriate, that I will definitely go ahead and read it. And it also helps me out, keeps me funded, keeps me fed, and keeps me going strong. So I very much appreciate it here if you guys were to send in any super chats. But other than that, guys, I am going to run through WrestleMania Night 2 in chronological order of events and kind of just go from there. You guys know the drill. You know how I do this. Let's get started. We have our first super chat of the evening, and this one is from YouTube Championship Wrestling, who says, Night 1 was so much better than Night 2. Well, so I cannot disagree with that whatsoever, because Night 1 was good top to bottom. It completely delivered in every aspect, in every match. For the most part, every match delivered. And I think that everybody really enjoyed Night 1. However, Night 2 got off to a very, very rocky and complicated start. We will talk about that once we get into each and every single match. But yes, I do have to agree that Night 1 was definitely a lot better. We have another super chat from Brandon Charles Powell, who says, Edge and Bryan are done as contenders after that pin by Roman. Also, what the heck was that Fiend finish? I loved the main event. I loved it so much. I cannot wait to talk about that. But that Fiend match, that Fiend finish, God, was so terrible. We will get to that. Thank you so much to Brandon for sending in this super chat. We have one from Chris Ludek, who says, for the third time, for a triple threat as main event for WrestleMania delivered, and I feel the right guy won. I have to agree with you, Chris. I 100% agree. Going into WrestleMania, everybody was asking the magic question: who is going to be winning this triple threat match? And again, I said this a million times. There were 2 outcomes that I was hoping for. One was either Daniel Bryan winning, or 2, it was Roman Reigns retaining and keeping that streak that he has been on as an unstoppable heel champion. And he retained tonight, and I could not be happier about everything that went down during that main event. So thank you so much for sending in that super chat. We have a couple more super chats I'm going to go read. This one is from Paul S., who says, I want to know what Cuban bongos, a Chinese gong, and kendo sticks were doing around the ring in a Nigerian drum fight. Well, my good friend Paul S., I appreciate your super chat. However, I cannot give you the answer to that. However, I will give you a sneak preview on my thoughts on this Nigerian drum fight, and that is, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And once we get into that match, I will recap that more in depthly. But thank you so much to Paul S. for sending in the super chat. We have another one from Devin Mercer, who says, Night 1 was much better. NXT was better than WrestleMania. Ciampa versus Walter was a top 2 or 3 match. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this right now. So Ciampa versus Walter was my favorite match of NXT TakeOver, okay? That was by far my favorite match. Now, I didn't think that there would be another match that I would like as much as Walter versus Ciampa, but here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news, Denise Salcedo's match of the entire WrestleMania weekend is definitely 113% going to, drum roll please. All right, here we go. Daniel Bryan versus Edge versus Roman Reigns. That was my match of the WrestleMania weekend. Yes, even defeating Ciampa versus Walter. I'm going to have to bump down Ciampa versus Walter to number two. So there you go. That's been resolved. I haven't decided yet on my number 3. I have to sit down and think about it. But that is my top 2 favorite matches of the weekend. So thank you so much to Devin Mercer for sending in that super chat. Guys, again, we're going to keep the action going. Keep sending in those super chats. Again, I very much appreciate them if you send them in. But we're going to go ahead and kick things off and continue talking about everything that is going on. I'm going to read a couple of comments from the non-super chatters, but here we go, because I appreciate your supports. I appreciate you guys being in here. This one is from Justin Martin, who says, overall, night 1 was better, but night 2 did have an amazing main event and 3 other really good matches. Ripley, Asuka, Riddle, Sheamus, and Owens, Zayn. I can't disagree with that comment from Justin here. We have one from JJ Bulldog, who says, WrestleMania Night 1 was better because my favorite match was Bianca versus Sasha Banks. That was a fantastic match. That might even be my number 3. When I think of another match that I really, really loved, it's obviously Bianca Sasha. So I do think I would name that my number 3. Wrestling Gamer, thank you so much for the super chat. Sends in this chat that says, Denise, muchas gracias for all your coverage. Are they setting up Rhea versus Becky? We haven't even, obviously we're going to get into this, but there was somewhat of a rumor going around that Becky Lynch would be at WrestleMania. However, and we all saw that cryptic tweet of hers, that cryptic Instagram post that she shared. However, that did not happen. And apparently the rumor is going around is that apparently Becky Lynch was planned to be there. However, that got axed because the people found out about it. Apparently, that is the rumor going around at this moment. I do not know. We'll find out later. We'll find out later on exactly what is going on with that. But I was really bummed out that we did not see Becky Lynch here tonight. Like, even though the word was going around that she would be there, it got me excited for it, and then it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So I was very, very sad about that. But here we go. We have another big super chat. Thank you so much to Justin McLucky. McLucky, I'm getting lucky tonight with your super chat. He says, Night 2 was nowhere near as good as Night 1 or NXT TakeOver. That said, still a fun show. Loved Roman retaining and Rhea winning. Hated the Fiend losing and poor cliffhanger after that match. Hashtag DWO, hashtag Hollywood Salcedo. Justin, I'm completely with you. Night 1 of WrestleMania was so much better. However, that ending, though, to tonight's show, it made it worth it. Thank you so much to Justin for sending in this really, really awesome super chat. We have another one from my good friend Matthew Makovsky, who says, don't even want to try sharing my thoughts on that main event. If I did, I'd just be cursing y'all out. But straight up amazing, goat shit. Yes, I don't know, and if there's somebody here watching the stream who did not like the main event, and I'm sure there's going to be that, and you guys are welcome to have your own opinion. You don't have to match up with mine, but it's going to be very, very hard for me to accept people not liking this main event because it was just really, really, really good. And somebody, Josh Bowen, points out that he told me Becky was trolling. Look at Becky. She just became the number 1 troll. Matthew Moskowski sends in another super chat saying, and still the tribal god, you love to see it. I am so happy about Roman Reigns retaining because we have not had such a dominant heel champion in such a long time. And this is perfect. Like, it's perfect the way that they're booking Roman Reigns right now. I would love to see Roman Reigns. And I know that we still have a whole year until next year's WrestleMania, so this is speaking very, very far off in advance. But I would love to see Roman Reigns stay as the dominant champion even until next year's WrestleMania. I said it. Let's do it. We have another super chat from Change21 who says, hey, just dropping in for the first time. I listen to your Instinct Culture podcast while I'm working whenever it drops. Change21, thank you so much for coming on here, sending in a super chat and giving my podcast a try. I thank you so much for that. We have another super chat. Zach Felt didn't send in a message, but I really appreciate you sending in the super chat. You have no idea how much it means to me. So thank you so much to Zach Felt for sending that in. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm sweating already. I'm looking like that Alexa Bliss melted off image that we saw. But get your thoughts, get your opinions, get your super chats ready, because I can tell a lot of people are going to be mad here, because we had the opening match of WrestleMania Night 2, The Fiend versus Randy Orton. Now, this whole storyline between Randy and The Fiend has been god awful. It's been terrible. It's been horrible. Whatever other bad adjective you can think of, throw it in there, because it has not been good. And I did not have any hopes for this, really, but I guess as far as my hopes were, I was just hoping for it to be a decent opener. I've been saying this constantly over and over again. Randy Orton and The Fiend do not bring out the best in each other whatsoever, and sadly, very sadly, this match proved me right once again, because this was one of the worst things that we have seen in a really long time. And for the crowd to literally be booing after this was really a really poor start, a really poor way to kick off WrestleMania. I mean, this could have been thrown in there somewhere in the middle. I mean, might as well keep it off, but we got it. This was terrible. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions on this? And we're going to get into this more. But this one, we have a super chat from Ben Shrewsbury who says, always great to see a Denise post show. Also, that Fiend Orton match absolutely stunk. Ben, thank you so much for coming into my post show. And yes, it did stink. So here we go. This is what happened in this. So literally the best part of this literally was the entrance with the Fiend coming out. He comes out as the new burnt up Fiend that we've been seeing. He's walking down this long corridor. It's like steel, somewhat like steel fences around him. It looks pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. That looked pretty cool. And then there's like a little explosion of some sort. And then he comes back and he's, you know, the regular Fiend. So I didn't understand that one bit. And then we come out to the actual stadium, and you have Alexa Bliss with this giant box, the little box that she's been having with her, but instead a super giant version of it. And she's there spinning the little handlebar, and bam, the Fiend comes out. Really cool for the most part. Didn't make any sense whatsoever, but a lot of this storyline has not been making sense to me. So I just roll with the punches here. I roll with the punches. But this match starts off, and this goes on. The lights are dimmed red. They start going at it, Randy Orton and The Fiend. And it's not a good match, all right? Nothing of note actually happens. And then afterwards, we essentially get a shot of Alexa Bliss. She comes out, she's on top of the box, and she has this black liquid literally just like pouring down her, okay? And that ends up causing the Fiend to get distracted. So the Fiend gets distracted because Alexa Bliss is on top of this box and she's covered in black liquid, the same black liquid that's been coming out of Randy Orton's mouth the last couple of weeks. So then that ends up causing the distraction for Randy Orton to get the RKO on the Fiend, and bam, Randy Orton wins this match. After that, Alexa Bliss and the Fiend look at each other, and you're thinking, did Alexa Bliss just turn on the Fiend? What exactly happened here? So you're looking at, they're just looking at each other, and you're thinking, okay, something's going to happen. What's going to happen? There's going to be some sort of explanation to all of this. Why did Alexa Bliss end up costing this match for the Fiend? However, instead, the lights go down. The lights go down. The lights come back, and they're gone, and all you have is the crowd booing. There were literally people in the front row looking at each other like this, trying to figure out what on earth happened. And the only thing that I can tell you guys right now is I went on Twitter immediately and I asked people, explain to me what the hell happened on here if you can. I got over 100 comments on that tweet. Over 100 people were trying to explain to me what exactly went down in that Fiend, Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton opener. And I can tell you, not one person said the same thing as somebody else, because no one knew what the hell was going on. And this was terrible. There is absolutely nothing good that came out of this. I don't even know what we need to do now with the Fiend. I don't know how you bring them back from this, because this was just really, really bad. So if you have any great ideas, send them in. If you liked this, tell me why you like this, because I did not see one person defending this whatsoever. But we have a comment from Ryan Johnson, a super chat, who says, Ryan says, The Rock versus Roman Reigns next year, WrestleMania 38, record crowd, The Rock's career versus Roman's title, a match for the true head of the table. I would actually love The Rock versus Roman Reigns, but I would actually like to see it if that were to happen in LA here. But that's still till WrestleMania 39, so I don't know if that's actually going to happen or if that's just such a long time from now. I really, really do not know. But that would be a phenomenal match, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. So thank you so much to Ryan Johnson for sending in this super chat. We have another super chat from Elias Castillo, who says, Roman is the GOAT, period. After tonight, I cannot argue with that whatsoever, because Roman Reigns, the way that he pinned both Daniel Bryan and Edge was literally, it was the best way to win in terms of a powerful, dominant heel. So I agree with this. We have another super chat from Corey Jeffrey, who says, Dan Manners wishes he had a box-like structure full of Okada. Thank you so much to Corey Jeffrey for that super chat there. All right, guys. So I think for the most part, a lot of people, I'm going to try to get some of your opinions here. Again, if you have a really brilliant comment and you're wondering what on earth, send it in so I can go ahead and actually read it here. So let's see what we got here. This one is from J Rock Dog, who says, I actually like the Alexa story being told as its own. Don't care for Fiend or Randy story, even though I'm a Randy mark. It kind of seems like we're going in that direction now based off that little simple stare down. It seems like we're going to get, I don't know, Alexa Bliss versus the Fiend. Is that where we're heading at with this? That's kind of what it feels like we're heading at with this. Jamie says, I know it was impossible due to a live crowd, but I wanted a cinematic match between Orton and the Fiend. Firefly Funhouse match like the Cena one, but it's all burns up and Cena makes him one off cameo. Had they done that, I think it would have been so much better. So much better had they actually done that. So I completely agree with you there, Jamie. I think that's I think that would have been a way better alternative to this. Let's see what else we have here. We have a lot of people basically sharing different opinions here. We have one from Dan, who says, poor choice of match for the opening match of WrestleMania. I genuinely think it has set the precedent for the night being a little underwhelming until the last couple of matches. Yeah, I think in terms of like the way night one started was completely different to the way that night two started. Carissa Lopez says, I felt very confused in the ending of that match. Most importantly, it felt very fast-paced for me. Majority of the matches were fast-paced for me. I actually liked the way that because WrestleMania was in 2 nights, I actually like the way that each match sort of had its own time. They had enough time to all get out there what they needed to. So they didn't feel rushed the way you normally see when you have like these 8-9 hour WrestleManias. You see a lot of the talent really rushing to get whatever they need to get in during the match. So I actually did like the pacing of this. Ray Santiago says, one of the worst openers in WrestleMania I could think of. Orton deserved better than this mess. Such a confusing, massively disappointing match and finish. I completely agree with you on that one as well. Okay, I think I got everything down here. We have a comment from Brant who says, Build to Mania sucked. Day 1 was awesome. Day 2 was meh, except the final match overall B-. I would say that B- probably wouldn't be too terrible of a rating. We have a super chat from Atlee Green who says, Hello, Denise. If you're booking Roman Reigns versus The Rock for WrestleMania 39, do you have Reigns hold the title until then? That's why I said it's too far out there. It's too far out there to wait. So, like, if they were going to do, Rock versus Roman Reigns, I would have loved that in LA. But again, that's until WrestleMania 39. It's too long to wait. And who knows? Things change so fast. I would like Roman Reigns to continue on and have a very long title reign. So I do hope we get to see that, but I don't know how far out this will actually be extended. We have another super chat from Bob Harris who says, was it just me or did they set up the Fiend to be Bo Dallas? Good one there. Thank you so much to Bob Harris for sending in this super chat. So many different thoughts on this one. We have one from Chris who says, Randy Orton versus The Fiend was annoying. It's WrestleMania 33 all over again. When is Bray ever going to win at Mania? He's so creative with his characters. I don't know why WWE didn't let him win. Unfortunately, right now, everything that they're doing with this current version of The Fiend is just not working. I actually think that Bray Wyatt should have The Fiend be a little bit more similar to the way Finn Balor has the Demon King, where he sort of brings him out on special occasions, because it's not working having him be the Fiend 24/7. So I do wish that he came out a little bit more sporadically. We have another super chat from Philip Spanola who says, I would love to see Big E or Karrion Kross in the mix to dethrone Reigns at WrestleMania 38. Love for the moment to go a younger talent instead of a veteran. I'd rather save Roman Rock in LA non-title. Exactly. So that would be a great way. Look, the way that, considering that Daniel Bryan didn't win at this WrestleMania, at this point, Roman Reigns, when he does lose the title, whenever he does lose the title, it's literally got to be to a young, up-and-coming star who literally is the ultimate babyface. Right now, we don't have anybody like that. I can't think of somebody who would be at that level to actually be able to take the title off of Roman Reigns. As of right now, I don't see anybody in the cards to do that. But again, we still got a year. We still got, X amount of time to hopefully have somebody that is a strong babyface, even stronger than Daniel Bryan. But again, we're reaching for the stars here, guys. We're reaching. We have another super chat from Everbrand who says, who wins at Mania first, Asuka or Bray Wyatt? I would probably go with Asuka, to be honest. At this moment, I would go with Asuka. So there you go on that, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we've had a lot of talk on The Fiend, Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton. When you guys, for those who listen to the replay of this or watch the replay of this, make sure to send in your thoughts in the comment section. And because I am very curious to see what everybody's opinion is on this. All right, but let's go ahead and move on. So keep in mind that after this match, the crowd was booing, okay? So the people were not really feeling what happened here in this opening match. The following match, right after this, is literally Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Tamina and Natalya for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship belts. And I kind of felt like that match should not have gone on next. I thought to myself, dude, that opening match just killed the crowd. I can't see this match getting the people excited, because I wasn't excited for this match. I wasn't looking forward to this match. I didn't care to see this match. I had zero interest in this tag team match, which is very unfortunate. But again, it gave me no reason. They gave me no reason to care about either of these teams. So that is why I did not care going into this actual match. And I thought it was a bad call to have this match follow up The Fiend and Randy Orton. So they put this match on here, and for the most part, really one of the major highlights of this was this really brutal kick, knee kick from Shayna to Natalya, which just looked awful. Natty's head literally snapped backwards. I mean, it looked bad. And she legit looked like she was freaking out for a minute because she was laying on the mat, sort of like checking her teeth. I think in her mind, she kind of felt like her teeth were gone, but she looked really freaked out in that moment. So that was pretty brutal. But here's what happened during this match that I didn't expect either. The crowd really started getting into Tamina. I didn't expect that. Good for Tamina. Again, I didn't see that coming, but all right. The ending, Natty had the sharpshooter on Nia, but then Shayna ended up choking out Natty, and that is how they won Nia and Shayna. So Nia and Shayna are still tag team champions. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I mean no harm to Nia or Shayna or anybody, but I've seen what they've been doing with Nia and Shayna as tag team champions. I watch it each and every single week, and each and every single week I come on these post shows and I say, I am over it. I am over it. I am over it. Over it. So this does not get me excited. This does not get me excited to continue seeing Nia and Shayna as tag team champions. So I don't know how some of you guys may have felt about this. Some of you guys may have been happy about this, but personally, I was not. So what did you guys think? Go ahead and send in your comments. Let's see. We have a comment from Amanda Rodriguez who says, oh God, this match was boring. Natty and Tamina were robbed. Given the fact that people were actually cheering for Tamina, I think they should have given it to her. They really should have just given it to Natty and Tamina because the crowd was behind them. So why not let them actually get this win, especially over the fact that we've already seen everything we need to see from Nia and Shayna. Brent Williams says that this match shocked me, but Tamina is a longtime vet that deserves it. She should have won the title. Again, somehow, some way, people were into it. M. Darrett says that the crowd got into it late. They did, because again, they really didn't have a reason to actually care about this match. They really, really didn't. So for the most part, I didn't care for this match, but hey, I didn't care for the outcome, but whatever. All right, let's see. J Party TV says, I think the Riot Squad will be the next challengers, or maybe the Bella Twins return, ? We'll talk about the Bella Twins later today, but I kind of lost hope for the Riot Squad. They were my pick. They were my pick to win that tag team turmoil match. They were my pick to become champions tonight. I mean, I know that it was far out there. I really do. But I really was sort of hoping that it would happen. Carissa Lopez says that those titles don't even mean anything anymore. It seems like they're not relevant anymore. Give me the Iconics. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like they mean anything right now. I just hope that starting Monday, that we do not get when I'm watching Raw, I do not want to see the Raw. I don't want to see the Raw Women's Championship and the tag team titles get all convoluted in the exact same picture. I want them to be kept separate. So I hope that we don't see them do that, what they were doing with Asuka, Nia, and Shayna all over again. I do not want to see that. We have another super chat from Change21 who says, I was working during the whole WrestleMania and saw the women's tag match, and it didn't feel like it should be on the card. I couldn't care about it. Yeah, it was a very last minute addition. The tag team turmoil yesterday was terrible. It was the worst match of the night. And then this match just didn't really do anything that was incredible. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania match. So that's pretty much that. Alrighty, so guys, let's go ahead and move on. So after this, finally, a match that people could get excited for. A big WrestleMania moment came out of this, and this was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn with his very special guest, Logan Paul. So I am curious to see what you guys all thought of this. So this kicks off with Sami introducing Logan Paul. He says that he's his only ally, so he has Logan Paul sitting in the corner right by commentary. this turns out to be a pretty decent match, and this is what I was expecting from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We had some really cool spots, some of which included a brainbuster on the apron from Sami to Kevin Owens, which I thought looked pretty sick. And one of my favorite things that we kept seeing throughout this entire match was every time that Sami Zayn was going to go for the pin, he kept looking at Logan Paul to make sure that Logan Paul was actually looking. I thought that was pretty funny. Both guys were getting a lot of their spots in, no rest holds whatsoever during this match, which I always appreciate that because that can be terribly boring, but this was not boring. One of my other favorite moments was when Sami Zayn just kept slapping the hell out of Kevin Owens. Like, he just snapped and started slapping him like crazy. I love that. That was a great moment. Sami also gets him with a haluva kick, which was great. Right after that, Kevin Owens gets Sami Zayn with 2 super kicks and ends up getting the finish. The finish is 2 super kicks from Kevin Owens and a stunner, and then he gets the 3 count. So after this, obviously, the thing that everybody wanted to see was Kevin Owens doing the stunner on Logan Paul. And I was kind of nervous. I was like, are they not going to do it? I hope they really do it, but what if they don't? There's always that big what if they don't do it, right? But Logan Paul enters the ring. He's sort of checking on Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn ends up getting pissed because after that, Logan Paul extends his hand to Kevin Owens to shake his hand. So Sami Zayn does not like that. He starts yelling that Logan Paul is his guest of honor. So Logan Paul gets mad at Sami Zayn and shoves him. After that, Sami Zayn leaves, and then Logan Paul ends up grabbing Kevin Owens' arm and raising it. And he's, trying to be friends with Sami Zayn, but with Kevin Owens. He raises up Kevin Owens' arm, and he's trying to be friends with Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is kind of like, ugh, dude, I'm not really buying this. Like, I don't want to be friends with you. He had that face going for him. And afterwards, lo and behold, the best moment of the start of WrestleMania is when Kevin Owens gives the stunner to Logan Paul, and respect to Logan Paul because he took that stunner perfectly. I mean, the guy even flipped. This was great. I love this. It was simple. It was simple and straightforward. I loved it. I thought that at this point during WrestleMania, this really was the best match of the night up until this point here. Simple, for the most part, got straight to the point. Fast-paced action. It was enjoyable, and we got exactly what we wanted. So I really enjoyed this. We have a super chat from YouTube Championship Wrestling who says, I think Owens versus Sami should have got more time. I wouldn't have minded it. Had he gone an extra few minutes, I would have definitely not minded that whatsoever because they really were on fire, just hitting, just getting a lot of moments in. It was very bam, 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 which I very much enjoyed. Ray Santiago says, KO versus Sami was a great match. This should have went on second to get the crowd back into it. Hell, it should have kicked off the show at this point. Also adds, we saw innovative moves from both guys. It was exciting. I was happy Owens won and stunned Logan Paul. Good moment. Chris says, a flashback moment to Battleground 2016. They were doing spot after spot, which really kept the fans into it. This was my second favorite match of the night. Another rematch from these two amazing wrestlers. And we knew we were going to get that. We really, really did knew we were going to get that. We have a comment from Sumaish who says, it would be great if Logan screwed Zayn during the match, furthering cementing his claim that there is a conspiracy going on. I like this. That would have been good. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that just because it would fall in line with the actual conspiracy where then you could be like, did somebody pay off Logan Paul to do this? Yeah, they could have definitely played off of that, but I think they really just wanted to tie a nice bow on this and sort of end it here. But yeah, that would have not been bad at all. And Sudeep says, Logan also sold the frog splash behind the commentary desk. He really was. He was on it. He was making all the facial expressions. I didn't mind him whatsoever in this. Literally did not mind him whatsoever. And Harriet says, Logan was only there to be stunned, LMAO. Yeah, he was only there to be stunned, but again, he was a good sport about it. So he came in there, got it done. It was predictable, but it was perfectly fine. And it was the pop that we all deserved. And it was this was the most exciting moment of the start of the show because again, the tag team match wasn't great. We've already said what we've had to say about the Fiend and Randy Orton. So yeah, I agree with that. I'll read this comment from Krista who says that Sami and KO always have great chemistry in the ring. Yeah, and also wanted more time here. And let's see. All right, guys, BTW reminder for those of you who are in here, do not forget, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to continue growing this channel, so please make sure you subscribe. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you follow me on Twitter and or on Instagram @_ Denise Salcedo, especially Twitter. I am trying to get to 20K before my birthday. I have like 30-something days to do that. So please, if you haven't followed me and you enjoy my wrestling commentary, follow me on Twitter @_ Denise Salcedo. Also, if you have some brilliant statement or comment or question that you want to ask during the stream and you want to make sure that I read it, go ahead and send it in a super chat. I appreciate any super chats that we get on the stream because once again, this channel is run entirely by me, funded by me. I don't have a boss that pays me. So essentially, money that I make on YouTube on this video is the money that I make for the day. So feel free to send in any super chats if you guys want. All right, so let's go ahead and move on though. So after this, we had a really fun segment actually backstage with Matt Riddle, the Great Khali, and RVD. First of all, know this, I love the Great Khali. Like, I'm a Great Khali fan, all right? I always pop every time he makes any sort of appearance on WWE. I can't help it. I'm just a big fan of the Great Khali. So I was very excited that he was there in person. Matt Riddle and him kind of go off and they start, Matt Riddle's acting all goofy, basically telling him that he should start a giant store with giant toilets, giant scooters, giant clothes, and whatnot. And Great Khali's just kind of like, he's just there. He's just watching him. RVD comes out and Matt Riddle pops for RVD. RVD ends up translating for the Great Khali. And RVD essentially wishes him good luck and hands him rolling paper. I don't know. He hands it to him. This was funny. This was a great moment and a nice little segue into the actual match against Sheamus. So before we get that, I'm trying to see some more comments. I'm going to make sure I read all of your thoughts as we go through this. All right, cool. So Matt Riddle versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. So first and foremost, I do have to make a note of the birds that came out of Matt Riddle's feet once again. But this time, the birds came out with WrestleMania hats. And you know what? I thought this was pretty darn funny. I liked this. This match was good. I actually liked this match more than Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And the reason for that is because it was very hard hitting. This was definitely the best that Matt Riddle has looked. And quite frankly, even though Sheamus got the win here, and I was happy for Sheamus, part of me was kind of sad because I wanted to see Matt Riddle stay United States champion a lot longer. I thought that he's been having, some of the best matches consistently on Raw. I mean, I know they give him this like really goofy, character where he's kind of like, sort of airheady and all of that. But what he does in the ring has really gotten over with me. I love the matches that he's been having. And this match with Sheamus was probably one of the best that he has had that I can remember off the top of my head. This was probably one of the best ones I've seen from him. And he looked great in this match. It was an aggressive match. I loved it. Some of my favorite spots here were the Laredo fly from Matt Riddle to Sheamus. That looked really awesome. There was a suplex on the apron from Riddle to Sheamus, which also looked really great. They gave this match plenty of time. And one of the things that I do wish is that they gave Matt Riddle more time when he has these matches on Raw. So I did like the amount of time that they gave this match. There was an unfortunate spot that was supposed to happen. It looked like Sheamus was setting up the the white noise on the top rope, and unfortunately he wasn't able to get it. That was I kind of felt bad because it was going to be a pretty cool spot and people were like anticipating it, but then it kind of just didn't work out. So that moment kind of sucked, but other than that, the finish was fantastic. So Matt Riddle does a moonsault from the second rope, and Sheamus ends up kicking him in the gut while he's in the air and kind of gets him in the mouth, actually, because Matt Riddle does get busted open in this. So Sheamus ends up winning this match and is your new United States champion, which I do not mind seeing Sheamus as a champion because, again, Sheamus has also been having great matches. So that's why I kind of felt torn between both of these guys here, because I really liked what Matt Riddle was bringing to the table. And again, I still think he could have done a lot more as champion, but at the same time, I do not mind seeing Sheamus as champion. Either way, I thought that this was a great match, and again, I even liked it more than the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match. We have a comment from Sumaish that says the bro kick at the end was brutal. M. Durrett says Riddle should walk into Roman's dressing room by mistake, starting a title feud. We have a comment from Louis who says Sheamus being rewarded with his work lately sucks for Riddle, but he can get it back at another time. Amazing bro kick at the finish. Inspired from Adam Cole? ? Exactly. Sheamus did get rewarded for this because he did do great work with Drew McIntyre. So I do agree on that. This was one of those cases where pretty much whoever won, I thought was a good call, to be honest. It really was. And alrighty, here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and move on. But friendly reminder, if you want to get your comment, question, statement, or whatever read on the air, go ahead and send it in a super chat. And I promise you that you will get it read on this stream. All right, moving on. So before we get into the next match, we have a commercial where a Bad Bunny Triple H commercial where Triple H hands him a briefcase. And I'm thinking, oh man, is Bad Bunny going to be in the Money in the Bank? I started to get excited. And then he opens it and it's a microphone with like a skull. It looks pretty cool. Definitely a gift you would get from Triple H. But this ends up being a promotion for his tour taking place in 2022, which is next year. And this was essentially his write-off from WWE, which was perfectly fine. I like this. I thought this was a really nice way to also, reward Bad Bunny for the great work that he did last night by promoting his tour. So it seems obviously that Bad Bunny and WWE have a good relationship, and this was a really nice way. I thought for the most part that you saw from both ends that they really treated each other with respect, and you got that. Bad Bunny promoted WWE, WWE promoted him. Good relationship. He put in the work, had the passion, had one of the best matches of night one, or one of the best moments of night one for WrestleMania. So overall, I really, really agree with this. Thought it was awesome. And Nathan Vella also comments on the Riddle situation, saying that he feels bad for him, but he has a lot of years ahead of him. Deep thought that this was a great segment. I agree. I thought so too. All right, but after this, we move on to match number 5, and it is Big E versus Apollo Crews, a singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. And so going into this match, I don't think any of us knew what a Nigerian drum fight was actually going to be, but they had drums on the outside. They had kendo sticks on the outside. So for the most part, this match was not bad. I found myself getting into it. I got into this. They both went at it with the kendo sticks, just throwing kendo stick shots all around. There was an awesome spot where Apollo did the frog splash, but instead of landing on Big E moves and Apollo just goes straight into the table. That was a really cool spot. But what everybody is talking about is the finish, because Dabba-Kato comes out, and you remember him from Raw Underground. And I believe he also did one of the Saudi Arabia shows as well. So you all know Dabba-Kato. We all know Dabba-Kato. except WWE commentary. They pretended like they didn't know who he was. But Dabba-Kato essentially comes out and helps out Apollo. Apollo ends up getting the win here. And the way that this was done, this really protected Big E because Big E was really about to win this match until Dabba-Kato essentially came out and helped screw him. So honestly, I thought this was a good way to protect Big E. I do think that he will be moving on to the Universal title picture. I don't think he'll be defeating Roman Reigns, but I do think that he'll be a nice next feud for Roman Reigns for that Universal title. So that's where I think they're headed with Big E. Now, one of the things that I will say about this is that a lot of people were talking about other matches being longer on this card. I actually thought this match should have been longer because I was kind of getting into it already. You know, with all of the weapons and all of that, I did like the way that they utilized all of that in this match. So I actually thought that Dabba-Kato came in a little too soon. I would have liked an extra 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever of this match because I really was getting into it. But there you go. Apollo Crews is your new WWE Intercontinental Champion. Any thoughts on this one here? Thank you so much. So somebody confirms that yes. John Ali, thank you so much. He says that Dabba-Kato was in the Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi back in 2018, but he was going under his other name, his actual name. So he did come out on there. And let's see. Sudeep says, I prefer them to use drums instead of kendo sticks in that match. Yeah, they could have definitely used that a lot more. And M. Direct also points out that he's not Dabba-Kato anymore. No, he is not Dabba-Kato anymore. Thank you so much to Alberto for sending in this super chat who says, the segment between Bella Twins and Bayley was worse than Dwayne burying the Wyatt family at WrestleMania 32. Oh my God. So like, look, the segment wasn't terrible. What sucked was that a lot of people were expecting Becky. Had this moment happened with us not having that expectation of possibly seeing Becky Lynch, it wouldn't have been as bad. But given that we were expecting Becky Lynch, it kind of, people were just kind of like flatline, you know, like the energy sucked out of you because as much as I love the Bella Twins, and I really do love the Bella Twins, we were expecting to see Becky Lynch. So that's pretty much what that was there. But thank you so much to Alberto Gonzalez for sending in the super chat. Thank you so much. Somebody points out, yeah, so Josh Bowen and Sumayash, they all point out that the Bellas did get booed. Yeah, I felt bad for them. They were put in an icky spot, guys. They were put in an icky spot. I didn't want to see them get booed. Like, they just had their Hall of Fame moment, and then they come out and they get booed. That sucks. It does suck. But again, like Riot Girls of Wrestling says, yeah, it wasn't the Bella Twins' fault. It wasn't their fault. From the sounds of it, they switched plans last minute from what I've heard. So again, we don't know for sure, but again, everybody was expecting Becky Lynch there. And alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So I feel like I'm going to have different opinions from everybody here in this next match. So I'm going to warn you guys, I apologize already for my opinions for the following match. So the fifth match of the night, which was one of the matches that I was most looking forward to because you guys know this. I was so excited for this match. Asuka versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. So I'll just say this much. I had high expectations for this match, and I did not think that this match delivered. Sadly, I didn't think this match was that great. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was a good match, but it was not the match that I was expecting. And expecting out of competitors like Asuka and Rhea Ripley. I didn't think it was at the WrestleMania level that it should be. Given what an awesome match Bianca and Sasha put out, it was nowhere near that. I thought that Rhea Ripley's fit when she won with the Riptide, her finisher, I felt that it came out of nowhere and it didn't have that big, like, shocking moment. Like, I didn't feel it hit the peak that it needed to hit to make this match and this moment very memorable. I didn't think that the crowd reaction was that strong for Rhea Ripley winning, which was very, very disappointing because, again, I was so excited to see Rhea Ripley win tonight. I was rooting for her. I've been rooting for her. But this match, sadly, I did not think met expectations. Again, I think that had this match maybe even been a little longer, had they added a little bit more, it might have been a lot better. But sadly, I just didn't think this match was what I was expecting it to be, which really bummed me out because, again, this was one of the matches that I was most looking forward to, like legit. So I'm curious, what did you guys think of Asuka, Rhea Ripley? Send in your thoughts. Let's see. We have a comment from Felix who says, if I have to be honest, Ripley and Asuka are way better than this, and it really was just so slow. I expected them to be straight into second gear. I wish it was so much better. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't at the WrestleMania caliber that I think a lot of us were expecting. We have a comment from Luis who says, happy for Rhea Ripley winning, but it felt overwhelming. Rhea looked like she was going through the motions. You can still feel her momentum killed since last year's WrestleMania. Yeah, it did. I really do. I think her momentum was a lot stronger last WrestleMania. We're getting a lot of comments on this. This one is from Vijay who says, the pace throughout the match was the same. It should have kicked into second gear towards the end. Again, that did not happen. And Chris says, this match ending fell flat. When she won, I was like, oh, she won. Good for her, though. But best part of me thinks that she will defend it against Charlotte. Eve, Riot Girls of Wrestling says, I really liked Asuka versus Rhea Ripley, though they weren't keen on the finish. Wasn't keen on the finish. Felt like it was still building even though they'd gone 13 minutes. Exactly. Like, I think it just kind of came out of nowhere. And let's see what else we have here. Mario Morales says, crap, I was just about to watch the Raw women's match. I'm sorry, Mario. I'm sorry. But you know what? At least we warned you. So I guess don't expect a great breakout match because that's not what we got there. Really, that's not what we got there. And okay, so we have a super chat. Thank you so much for this giant super chat, M. Darrett. Thank you. You have no idea how much that means to me. M. Darrett says, I love Asuka, but they do her so dirty. Rhea should have gone over last year. You're doing a great job, Denise. Thank you so much to M. Darrett for this super chat. Unfortunately, as much as I love Asuka, they did do her dirty. They really did. The booking for her wasn't that great. I mean, there were a couple of Raws where you could have easily forgotten that she was even champion, which was very unfortunate because we all know that Asuka could have had a hell of a run, a hell of a reign if they actually let her have it. But they did not. Unfortunately, again, the Raw women's title picture got completely mixed in with the tag team picture, and it just became a cluster. And that is what I hope we do not see with Rhea Ripley. Now, I also hope that they start building more women to be more credible challengers to whoever is the champion, because that was one of the things that was missing from Asuka's reign, is that she didn't have enough credible challengers to face her for the Raw women's title. And I hope that we get that with with Rhea Ripley. So hopefully that happens. And sadly, again, like, there was no part of me that wanted Asuka to retain tonight, because again, her reign felt very, very dry, which we all know is no fault of her own, but rather there was no interest. Whatever interest was there was completely stripped away. But I am happy, again, that Rhea Ripley won. Also, another thing, and I put this out there on Twitter because I kind of felt, given that she won the Raw women's title, I didn't even notice if there was pyro. I had to put out a tweet asking people if there was pyro for Rhea Ripley's win, for her victory. And a lot of people put no. And some people kept put, I don't think so. Some people put, I need to rewind. Some people put yes. Some people put a little bit. And I'm thinking, isn't this something we should all know? But I don't recall them making a big deal of Rhea Ripley actually winning the Raw Women's Championship, which really bummed me out too. I really did think that her victory should have felt a lot grander, felt a lot bigger, but we didn't get that during this match here. All righty. Let's go ahead and move on. Actually, before I do, I'll read this comment from Tristan who says, it wasn't Rhea's fault between the loss of momentum from last year and Asuka still being over. I think this match needed to be absolutely spectacular to get Rhea over, and unfortunately it couldn't. Yeah, it needed to be way more spectacular. I think that there is what hurt it. Really hurt it. Jason says, the pace and storytelling just never ramped up. Felt like a match we could have seen on Raw. It felt like I could have seen, I felt like I could have seen this at another pay-per-view, but it was not a WrestleMania match, though. It was not a WrestleMania match, and that really sucks, because, again, this was one of the matches I was most looking forward to. Jason Blair sends in a super chat. Thank you so much to Jason, who says, glad Rhea won. Rhea versus Becky would be good. I really thought Becky Lynch was going to come out, and that's a part of me after when Rhea Ripley won, I thought, okay, all right, they're not making that big of a deal, because right now we're going to hear, Becky's theme song. I really thought that, and didn't happen. But that would have been so cool if she would have just came out. Heck, she didn't even have to say anything. She could have literally just came out. Rhea Ripley could have turned around and looked at her like, what the heck, you're here ruining my moment. And Becky Lynch could have just been like pointing at her or something, or like, that bout belongs to me. God, it could have been that simple. And we would have been so excited. We would have been out here thinking, oh my God, we're going to see Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. But we're not going to be talking about that because that did not happen. But thank you so much to Jason Blair for sending in that super chat. We have another one from Brandon who says, here's how to fix this. Io to the main roster, joins Asuka. They take the titles off Nia and Shayna. Shayna versus Rhea. Nia can host next year's Mania. I don't want to see them just pair up Io and Asuka. I don't want to see that. I feel like if you're going to move Io up to the main roster, I want to have her have a singles run. I don't want her to just be Asuka's shadow like what happened to Kairi Sane, because Kairi Sane ended up being Asuka's shadow. So I do not want to see the same situation for Io. But thank you so much to Brandon for always sending in super chats. I really appreciate that. Really do. Ray Santiago points out that Nathan says, yeah, you're not good at that. Name the Jam game. I am not good at that. Ray says he was also waiting for Becky to return the whole entire night. Caesar says, I just hope that Rhea winning becomes a much needed soft reboot for the division. Keep the tag titles away from Rhea. Exactly. Reboot is what we need with the Raw women's division. And all right, let's see what else we have here. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and move on. So after this, BTW, before I continue, I just want to give you guys a friendly reminder. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter at _Denise Salcedo. I cover pretty much every single wrestling show that there is on a weekly basis. I have a jam-packed schedule of streams. On Mondays, you can catch me on Fightful with Sean Ross Sapp covering Raw. On Tuesdays, I will now be covering NXT on F4W. Please join me for those shows, guys. You have no idea what that support means to me if you guys tune into those shows. Wednesdays, I will also be on F4W covering AEW and Dynamite. Those shows are always lots of fun, so come in there for that. And then Friday mornings, I'm on Wrestle Talk with my good friend Luke Owen, where we cover a variety of topics. And then Friday nights, I am on F4W once again, covering Friday Night SmackDown. So literally any day of the week, you can catch me covering wrestling at some point, somewhere. The best place to follow me is on Twitter at _Denise Salcedo, because I promote each and every single stream that I am on. Plus, I do lots of wrestling commentary, wrestling memes, wrestling news stuff. I do giveaways. So much goes down there. So please make sure to give me a follow at _Denise Salcedo. But now let's go ahead and move on to the actual main event of the night. So for the main event, really quickly, guys, before the main event, we had Titus and Hope come out, and this is where we all thought that Becky Lynch was going to come out when Bayley came out, but instead of Bayley coming out, it was the Bella Twins. Bayley basically calls the Bella Twins twin idiots dressed like Elmo, and says that John Cena isn't here tonight. And that's pretty much that. Everybody was expecting Becky Lynch. It didn't happen. Sucked. All right. Also, Backlash is happening on May 16th, which means that I'm working on my birthday weekend, guys. So Sunday is going to be Backlash. That's May 16th. Monday, I'll have Raw. Tuesday, which is my actual birthday, will be the NXT show. The following day, AEW Dynamite. So I will be working my entire birthday weekend come the month of May. But Backlash, May 16th, will be the next WWE pay-per-view. Now, let's talk about this main event. Now, BTW, John Ali just reminded me. He says, why is Backlash called WrestleMania Backlash? It's the new name. It's the new name, I guess. WrestleMania Backlash. Don't ask me why, but it's a thing. Alrighty, here we go, guys. Main event time. So, Roman Reigns defending his WWE Universal Championship against Edge and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match. And this was the match that I was most looking forward to come WrestleMania. This was the match that I was ready. And it ended up being my favorite match out of both nights of NXT, out of both nights of WrestleMania. This match definitely took the cake for me. I was going to recap the entire match, but I'm going to fast forward because so much happened, literally so much happened, that I'm going to kind of, we literally got so much, guys. We got, damn, all right. I don't even know where to begin here. All right, we had Jey Uso getting involved in this match. We had Edge tossing Roman all over the place at the top of this match like a ragdoll. We had Edge do a DDT on Jey Uso on steel steps. We had Daniel Bryan kicking Edge on the chest like it was nobody's business. We had Edge and Daniel Bryan going at it in the ring, and then out of nowhere, Daniel Bryan doesn't dive to the outside on Roman Reigns and onto which Roman Reigns catches him. That was a brilliant spot. We had a double spear from both Edge and Roman, which they just collided into one another. That was another great spot. We had yes kicks from Daniel Bryan to both Roman and Edge right after that, and the crowd was absolutely hyped for this match. We had Daniel Bryan get the yes lock on Roman Reigns, but Edge ended up breaking it. Right after that, Daniel Bryan gets Edge in the yes lock. Roman Reigns gets super pissed with the crowd because people were chanting Roman sucks, and Roman Reigns was not having it. That was bloody awesome. We saw Roman put Daniel Bryan through the commentary table, and as Roman Reigns is sort of celebrating about doing that, out of nowhere, Edge comes and spears him, and that looked pretty sick because nobody saw Edge coming with that spear. We saw Edge getting Roman Reigns in a crossface and then using a piece from the steel chair on his mouth. So this was my favorite spot of the night, okay? Edge has Roman in a crossface with the piece of chair in his mouth. Then at the same exact time, Daniel Bryan also gets Roman in the yes lock there. So they both have Roman Reigns is literally just there, looking like not even a human at this point. It looks crazy, okay? So they both have him there. Roman Reigns, if he even wanted to tap, he wouldn't even be able to tap, okay? That is how tied up he was. But then Edge and Daniel Bryan start headbutting each other with Roman Reigns' lifeless body right in between them. They both start headbutting each other, and this was so creative. It was my favorite part of the entire match. I really, really loved this. After that, we saw Edge hit Daniel Bryan with the spear. Then Edge gets Roman with a spear. And when Edge got both Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns with the spear and went for the pin, I seriously thought that it was over. But Daniel Bryan ended up yanking the leg of the referee, and so that wasn't over. Again, Then a lot kept happening after this. After this, Edge gets both of them with several chair shots and places the chairs underneath both their heads. And he hits Daniel Bryan with a concerto. And he's about to do the exact same thing to Roman Reigns when Jey Uso comes out and saves Roman Reigns from getting the concerto. Instead, after that, we see Roman then spear Edge. And Roman puts the chair underneath Edge's head and hits Edge with the concerto. And then he drags Edge's body on top of Daniel Bryan's body and gets the pin. And bam, Roman Reigns retains the WWE Universal Championship. And literally, guys, they did so much in this match, as I just went over all of the major points of this match. And I loved everything. I loved every single thing that they did, all the spots, all of the moments where I thought, oh my God, so-and-so's going to win. So-and-so's going to win here. And then it didn't happen. I mean, I was completely stoked. There was a point in this match where I was screaming. I was like, no. And then I was like, yes. And I mean, this really got you very, very excited. This felt like a WrestleMania main event. And I really, really loved the fashion in which Roman Reigns won. And now we have a very, very dominant heel champion. And this was a bloody awesome way to end WrestleMania 37. So guys, I loved this. What did you guys think about this? Send in your thoughts, guys. Let's see what you guys are all saying here. Again, I literally recapped all of that. So let's see what you guys are saying. I'm going to start off here with Joseph. Again, if you guys have a brilliant comment and you really want me to read it, send it in a super chat that will get read. If not, I kind of just skim and try to find some comments to read here. But Joseph Boza says, I thought this was the right environment for Roman to drop the title. It's the same old stuff 8 months later. Roman needs help. Is it bad when Roman gets help? I say that all the folks with the match. Oh, no, I'm so happy that Roman won. I thought this was definitely the right call. Chris says, the main event was fantastic and the ending surprised him. Do you think that the rematch will be inside of a Hell in a Cell match? It's crazy to say that I was happy with Roman winning. Show is 3.5 out of 5. I don't know what the following match is going to be. I don't really know. I do hope that we get to see Big E versus Roman Reigns at some point. I think he could be a challenger for him. Again, I just see Roman Reigns holding that belt I'm hoping for a really long time. I want to see Roman Reigns carry this belt for a long time. Lindsay also says it's a shame we didn't see Jimmy. I'm shocked we didn't see Jimmy. I'm guessing they probably couldn't find the right moment for him to actually come in for that. David Root says, Tribal Chief Roman is the man. Mike Shazek says, I don't know why I was expecting a hardcore brawl, but it was a fun match. No, this match for me was everything that I expected and much more. It completely delivered. I really hope that I know we're barely in March, but this is, for me, is definitely going to be one of my matches of the year come 2021. And I hope I remember this too, guys, because I say things and then I forget. Like come December, I forget everything. But hopefully I do not forget this. Let's see what else we have here. This one is from Justin, who says, so much action and drama the whole match. That last Roman spear on Edge was insane. Roman looks really strong, pinning both guys. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Nick Hancock says, what did Blamplate make of this main event? Blamplate rated it at 5 plates. 5 plates. That is how many plates this match got from Blamplate. 5 plates. Let's see what else we have here. We have a comment from Mike who says that he loved the double crossface from Bryan and Edge on Roman. I love that. So did M. Derek. Sudeep also says the exact same thing. John Ali wants to know what Spluke thought of this main event. He gave it 5 spoons. So there you go. This main event got 5 stars. 5 plates, 5 spoons. You name it, they got it. Let's see what else we got here. Sumayish says that ending was a statement. That's how a new superstar emerges, Roman for life. And Thiago also says this match was great. And okay, we have a super chat. Thank you so much to Nathan Vella, who says that not as good as night 1, but the main event was so good. what do you think about WrestleMania being split into 2 nights? For me, it's easier to watch. So in the beginning of this, I was kind of like, oh man, I want to stick to the one night, blah, blah, blah. But after this, I gotta say, I think that both nights, having WrestleMania on both nights is definitely the right call. I wasn't completely sold on it in the beginning. Again, in the beginning, I was kind of like, nah, I like WrestleMania being one day. It feels grand. But I like the idea of having it on 2 days. Again, each match got a pretty good amount of time. Yeah, there were a couple matches that could have been longer, but for the most part, everybody got a good amount of time. So I like the fact that it was 2 nights. And I think that today was proof that if people go one night, if they buy tickets for one night, they're going to buy tickets for the second night, because I can't imagine anyone traveling to WrestleMania and then only getting tickets for night 1 or just night 2. Like, I think if you're traveling to WrestleMania, you're gonna buy tickets for both shows. So I definitely do think that it's better off being split into 2 nights. And let's see what else we got here. This one is from Pomi, who says, who do you think Roman will face on his next defense? Big E, Cesaro, Nakamura, Keith Lee, or Braun? And how likely do you think it is Roman will move to Raw as part of the Superstar shakeup? No, I think Roman should stay on SmackDown, because that still is the it show. I want Roman to stay on SmackDown. I definitely, again, like I mentioned, Big E would be a great person for him to wrestle. Cesaro would be a good person too. Nakamura, unfortunately, they haven't done anything with him to make him to make it feel like it's time to face Roman Reigns. Given that Cesaro had a hot WrestleMania moment yesterday, I think that coming off of that win, he could probably, be a quick matchup, a quick feud with Roman Reigns. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that end of things. Rackshit says, Edge deserved to win. I'm shocked with the Roman win. He is in his peak of his heel character. I hope Edge, Roman have singles match. Unfortunately, as much as I love Edge, Edge wasn't one of the people that I wanted to see become champion tonight. So yeah. And let's see what else we have here. I'm going through the rest of your comments. I'm making sure I don't miss anything here. All right, we have, did I read this? No, I did not. Thank you so much to Nathan for sending in another super chat. Thank you so much, Nathan. I really thank you for that. He says, also, do you think Raw after Mania will be crazy, being that it's going to be in the Thunderdome? I know they have been waiting on big things for fans. Dude, it's going to be hard. Honestly, going from WrestleMania with people to going back to the Thunderdome, it's depressing. It's depressing. The Thunderdome is awesome. It's a great contraption. I mean, it's badass and all of that. But really, to go from people to the Thunderdome does kind of feel like womp womp. I wish that they could find a way to incorporate fans somehow in a safe manner. I repeat, in a safe manner. If they could do something like what AEW is doing with Dynamite, where they have a couple of people outdoors, man, that would be awesome. That would be really cool. But again, I think we're going to be seeing the Thunderdome for a while until God, I don't know what happens with, everything that's going on with pandemic, obviously. But thank you so much to Nathan for sending this in. We have another comment from another Nathan who says, Roman Reigns is a tribal chief leading the new era. Hell yeah. And Brandon notes, one of the reasons why I liked both main events is that by the time they came on, I wasn't super tired or worn out. The shortest pay-per-view is a plus. Exactly. People get to be excited by that. You're not completely tired by the time WrestleMania rolls around. Let's see what else we have here. And Ben Smith points out that we're going to be seeing a new announce team. Yeah, for those of you guys who haven't seen that is all over. You can find out information about that. And we're basically kind of getting just, all right, cool. I think I'm going for the most part here on all of your comments. But there you guys go. That was WrestleMania coverage for night 2. Thank you guys so much, seriously, for coming in both night 1 and night 2 to come catch my show. You have no idea how much it means to me when I see the numbers for these streams, when I see the people coming on here. There aren't very many people that do the shows by themselves. Better yet, any women that do their shows by themselves. So it really does make me happy to be one of the few to be out here engaging with you guys and really talking about wrestling and getting in depth with the analysis and all of that. It really makes me happy. Again, please follow me on Twitter at _Denise Salcedo to see all of the streams for all of my upcoming shows. Again, if wrestling is on, you can bet that I'm covering it somewhere. Also, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. You are already here, so just make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be posting a variety of content, so make sure that you guys come on and catch all of that. Alrighty, guys. So that is pretty much my show here today. I want to thank you guys so much once again. Do not forget to give this video a like before you go. Leave a nice comment in the comment section. Spread the word about my show. And I will see you guys next time. Have a very, very, very happy WrestleMania weekend. And I'll see you tomorrow for Raw coverage. Bye, everyone. Take care.